Over 2 million people live in Riverside County without a local news perspective. Until now. Spirit of Innovation, bringing you the need-to-know and good-to-know local, regional, county news, creating community and inspiration for business and residents.
Hello, I'm Gabriela Venturo. Welcome to Spirit of Innovation, nonprofit JDS Creative Academy's local monthly magazine news and information show. The staff at #JDSFamily has returned to the studio, and we've been busy gathering the stories that affect Riverside County. In honor of Black History Month, we take a look at how African American men and women helped shape Riverside County, fill you in on all the back-to-school buzz, share some great good-to-know and need-to-know info, as well as spotlight a local business's innovative strategy to help local nonprofits. First up, on February 23rd, state officials announced that Riverside County elementary schools with approved coronavirus prevention plans can bring students back on campus for in-person instruction. Let's find out where our schools stand and how Riverside County districts are stepping up to keep our kids engaged and learning.
In the midst of COVID-19, Riverside County school administrators and teachers have to think outside of the box to address education challenges that no one could have predicted, including plans to bring students back to school after a year of online learning.
The state has set the target of less than 25 per 100,000 residents in terms of case rate to bring back elementary students. Our new tentative start date for elementary to welcome them back in this transition phase is March 15th. We're also offering childcare both for our families as well as our staff. For the secondary schools, it's a little softer of a tentative start date, and we're trending in the right direction, and we have set April 5th as the target for grades 6 through 12.
What are some of the unique approaches that schools in Southwest Riverside County will use when students are allowed back in school?
We are coming back at the elementary level in what's called kind of an AM/PM model. So those students choosing to come back in person will come back either in the morning for 2.5 hours with their teacher and then do some asynchronous at-home learning in the afternoons. And some students will do the asynchronous in the morning and then come to school in the afternoon. And then we'll also, of course, have the option for students to remain online for those who are preferring that or who need that.
Some school districts, like Riverside Unified, plan to use plexiglass dividers on every desk along with social distancing and wellness checks. And funds have been dispersed to schools on both the federal and state level to purchase PPE supplies.
The challenge has not been financing the PPE, but more acquiring it. I'm thrilled to share that in TVUSD we have what we need. Where we are concerned that we won't have the funds is if the state still requires that we test staff on a very frequent basis, because that can be costly.
Until students return, keeping them engaged in learning online isn't easy, but it's a priority for educators.
The teachers have been incredibly creative, and two of the programs that have come out of the pandemic are, one is going to be a full-time homeschool program for grades TK through 12 with a lot of flexibility built in. And then the second thing we're really excited about that's come from the pandemic is flexible opportunities for our high school students. So rather than having to take 6 classes on campus, we're going to offer some flexibility so they'll be able to perhaps have a hybrid schedule.
Novel in-person special and general ed support hubs have also been established in several districts to meet the needs of vulnerable students.
Probably about 6 months or so, we were permitted by the state to start bringing students on campus in what are called hubs or cohorts. The state also identified the students that we were to target, and it's basically our students who are most at risk of learning loss. For example, our English learners, our special education students, our chronically absent students. Got about 900 students coming onto campuses right now. There's very specific rules established by the state. For example, no more than 14 students. They can't interact with other students in other hubs.
With college courses and recruiters unable to attend games to scout for talent, high school athletes looking for scholarships have gotten creative.
I don't know how it is with other sports, but I know with soccer, for example, like I'm pretty sure all coaches, they're not allowed to go travel out to come watch any of your games or practices anymore. Meaning your only form of getting, like, for example, film to them or just letting them know, like, hey, this is how I play, this is where I play and all that, you have to rely only on the video you send to them.
A lot of private schools do girls wrestling. You could film a whole match because it's a lot smaller amount of time than a whole soccer game would be.
While students and educators manage life during the pandemic, the falling number of cases provide hope that students and teachers will be back together again soon.
In this unprecedented crisis, there may have been some bumps in the road, but it looks like school districts, teachers, and coaches in Riverside County will continue to meet the needs of our students with a combination of experience, creativity, and new ideas. Now for the need to know. It has been 2 months since the first COVID-19 vaccine was administered in the United States. To date, over 418,000 Riverside County residents have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, leaving close to about 200,000 residents to still begin the process. Currently, we are in Phase 1A of the distribution process, which includes healthcare employees and long-term care residents, and Phase 1B, which are those 65 and older, as well as employees in education, childcare, food, agriculture, and emergency services. However, starting March 15th, healthcare providers may use their clinical judgment to vaccinate individuals considered high risk and ages 16 to 64. To help speed up the process, ease frustrations, and make information more clear, the health insurance company Blue Shield has been brought in by the state health agency as an outside administrator to ramp up coronavirus vaccinations. Kaiser Permanente is also stepping in to help deliver vaccines across the state. In a recent statement, state health officials said that California needs to administer more of the available doses. The state is hopeful Blue Shield will create a new statewide notification and appointment system. If distribution stays on schedule, the entire county's population should have access to the vaccine this spring. It's tax season and time to get your 2020 income and expenses organized, as the Internal Revenue Service announced that as of Friday, February 12th, they begun accepting and processing 2020 tax year returns. Here's some need-to-know information to help speed up your refund. File electronically and utilize direct deposit. For those who did not receive a stimulus payment or only received a partial amount, you may be able to use the Recover Rebate claim to collect your share of the stimulus distributions. Stimulus payments are not taxable. And lastly, the deadline to pay your 2020 taxes is April 15th, 2021, even if you file an extension. The IRS anticipates refunds to begin going out early March and says 9 out of 10 taxpayers will receive their money within 21 days of filing when doing so electronically with direct deposit. Check irs.gov for the latest information. On Tuesday, Governor Newsom signed a $7.6 billion direct relief package that will result in close to 5.7 million Californians receiving $600 after filing their tax returns this year. The stimulus plan is designed to help those with incomes under $30,000, as well as those who have been excluded from previous federal payments. February is National Heart Health Month, and cardiac arrest claims thousands of lives every year. In fact, heart disease is the #1 killer for women. This should serve as a reminder to take care of your heart. So with that said, here are a couple things to keep in mind. Know your risk, eat a healthy diet, be physically active, watch your weight, and regularly check your blood pressure and cholesterol. It's also a great idea to become CPR and AED certified. Not only does this help you recognize cardiac arrest, but with this knowledge and training, you can save a life. Giving back to your community is a win-win for all. In today's Spotlight segment, we bring you the proof. COVID-19 has put an enormous amount of financial pressure on nonprofit organizations. And without donations, many would be forced to put a hold on their mission. Thankfully, our region reflects the power of community support and the value of helping those in need, especially in these trying times.
Close to $16,000 has been donated, and over 100 Riverside County charities have been helped, thanks to Stromsoe Insurance Agency, the company behind the Referral Rewards Program. They aim to make a difference and inspire happiness by highlighting a different nonprofit each month. Uniquely, for the year 2021, Stromsoe is donating $21 to the designated nonprofit for every new client referral the agency receives. JDS Creative Academy was honored to be the highlighted nonprofit for the month of December.
Thank you, Stromsoe!
What was the inspiration behind the referral program?
Our referral program started a long time ago. Our principal and owner of the company, Mike Stromsoe, is really big into philanthropy and giving back to the community. But most recently, we noticed, especially with COVID, that a lot of the nonprofits weren't really eligible for a lot of the opportunities out there that some other types of businesses were. And our nonprofits in our community specifically were struggling. Anytime you can support a nonprofit, it makes you happy. And what makes me even more happy is we can help financially. So a lot of times we're able to give time and commitment and resources. So to be able to give financially in a time of need, like a lot of our nonprofits are in right now, it feels good. Of course, the referrals that come in, we love to do business with our local community. So every time a referral comes in, we do donate to that nonprofit. So it does help us in business as well. But honestly, the reason why we do it is because it gives us that sense of self-fulfillment that we're helping our community and the nonprofits in it.
Absolutely. And what services does the agency provide?
We offer several different types of insurance. We do have nonprofit insurance. We do specialize in brewery and wineries. We have a lot of different business opportunities, and we do also offer personal lines of insurance like home, auto, umbrella, earthquake, those sorts of things. So if you're a business owner or if you live in our community, we are happy to help.
Supporting a charitable cause doesn't always have to be monetary. Offer to donate your time, services, or use your voice by sharing their mission on your social media platforms.
To nominate your favorite nonprofit, simply reach out to Stromsoe Insurance Agency, and we have that info on our website. Giving is contagious, so let's keep the goodwill flowing. In honor of February being Black History Month, we invited in a guest reporter to help tell this story. Here is Candace Brewington from Thrivent Financial to provide a look at the rich past of Riverside County's African American community.
Most people are familiar with National Black History, but the achievements and challenges faced by the African American community here in our region are not so well known, even by Riverside County residents. However, a little research uncovers stories of remarkable accomplishments. Records show that Mormons migrating to the area in 1851 brought slaves with them, many of whom eventually became the region's first Black residents. The daughter of one of those slaves, Alice Rowan Johnson, became the county's first Black college graduate in 1888, and then California's first Black certified teacher in a public school. Nathan Harrison is the region's first African American homesteader, who was believed to have arrived with his master during the California Gold Rush. He emancipated and eventually established a homestead on Palomar Mountain. From 1880 to 1919, a popular pastime for many was to travel to the mountain to meet him. Anza Valley was initially known as Hamilton Plain, named after James Hamilton, the first resident who wasn't a Native American. He came to the valley in 1873, just 12 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. He became a well-respected rancher, and his son, Frank Hamilton, was a Riverside County constable, killed in the line of duty. Today, Anza's Hamilton Creek and Hamilton High School are named in his family's honor. The 20th century was the time of many important developments. In 1921, Frank Johnson, the husband of teacher Alice Rowan Johnson, sued the city of Riverside for banning Blacks from the Fairmount Park pool. He later took a census of registered voters that led to African Americans being included on Riverside juries. Dora Nelson, who had once been a slave, started the first Black church in Perris in 1924. The city has a museum named in her honor, and it is the only African American art and history museum between Los Angeles and San Diego. In the 1920s, Lake Elsinore was a big draw to many who wanted to enjoy the lake and hot springs' healing waters. George Brown's parents arrived during that time, becoming one of the first Black families to settle in Lake Elsinore. George was recently honored with an NAACP Legacy Award, acknowledging his achievements, which included being the first Black equipment operator for Riverside County and the state of California. America's civil rights movement sought an end to institutionalized racial discrimination. In 1965, the fight for equal rights came to Riverside and San Bernardino, where African Americans and Mexican Americans pressured schools to integrate. In September of that year, after the burning of a black school, the Riverside School District began busing students of color to white schools, becoming the nation's first large district to integrate without a court order. As we moved into a new millennium, there were more firsts for the Black community. In 2000, Judge Richard T. Fields became the first African American selected to be presiding judge over Riverside County's 69 judges and commissioners. Chuck Washington served as the first Black mayor of Temecula in 2007 and 2012. And then, in 2015, he was Riverside County's first African American to serve on Riverside County's Board of Supervisors. The county's African American owned businesses also thrived during this time. From 2007 to 2012, the number of Black owned businesses in Riverside and San Bernardino counties increased by 24.3%. We were only able to scratch the surface of our region's Black history. I encourage you to explore all the stories that are out there. You can find more at Riverside's African American Historical Society and the Hamilton Museum in Anza when it reopens, of course. Also, Spirit of Innovation will be revisiting this topic in the future.
Thank you, Candace. We appreciate you joining the JDS family this month to report on this fascinating history. Check out our website to find links to more information. Next up is the Good to Know, and here is pre-apprentice Aaron Perris.
Thanks, Gabriella. The Lake Elsinore Storms just announced that they will continue to play as an affiliate for the San Diego Padres as they have renewed their player development contract for the 2021 season. The team is excited to be back after a non-existent 2020 season. The MILB Single A 2021 season is scheduled to start Tuesday, May 4th with Storm's first home game against the 66ers on May 11th. The City of Lake Elsinore and the Inland Empire Community Foundation have entered into a partnership to administer a $1 million scholarship fund for the city's graduating seniors. This generous donation was made by former teacher and city treasurer Carl Graves. 4 scholarships, including a special collegiate ROTC option, will be offered each year and are available to high school seniors within the Lake Elsinore Unified School District. Mr. Graves was dedicated to service, and for this reason, priority will be given to those who have volunteered for the city or have participated in the Dream Extremes Future Leaders Program. The deadline to apply for one of this year's scholarships is Wednesday, April 21st at 4 p.m. With stay-at-home orders lifted, the Riverside County Superior Courts are planning to resume jury trials beginning March 1st. Use the Riverside Superior Court's website to check reporting details. If you have been keeping up with us on social media, you will know that Temecula Mayor Mary Ann Edwards recently announced that the 2021 theme for the city is Temecula Cares. Mayor Edwards shared that throughout the year, the message will be instilled in several city programs and practices. Pachanga is guiding by example as they partnered with Q's Tacos to feed Southwest Healthcare System workers. Their care for the community is definitely a sense of hope for a brighter year ahead. DigiFest season is approaching. Let's see what this event has in store.
DigiFest 2021, Temecula's biggest digital media festival and competition. Whether you're an industry leader, creator, or fan, DigiFest has something for you. Speakers, workshops, performances, and our 5th annual Digi Awards ceremony. Entries now accepted from students, amateurs, and professionals. Short films, illustration, music, photography, and more. The competition deadline ends March 22nd. Submit and learn more at digifesttemecula.org. See you at DigiFest 2021, April 16th, 17th, and 18th.
DigiFest receives submissions from all over the world. Riverside County creatives are strongly encouraged to submit. Gabriella, back to you.
Thanks, Erin. Check out our website, spiritofinnovation.org, for links on all the good-to-know info shared. Be sure to follow us on social media with the hashtag JDSFamily to keep up with what's happening in Riverside County. That's all for our February episode. You can find Spirit of Innovation on Rivco TV and local Murrieta and Temecula stations, YouTube, and all social media platforms. Don't miss our own SOI training crew with the JDS Creative Academy News Update on radio station 1025 The Vine. We love hearing from our viewers, so let us know if there's a Riverside County issue or event that you want us to cover. Thanks again for watching. We will be back with a new episode on March 25th. And until then, SOI out.